child with his hands up being shot by Chicago PD. We now have the video. Here it is.
They were the final moments of a foot chase. Body camera videos obtained exclusively by CNN show how it ended with the Chicago police officer shooting an unarmed 13-year-old who was running from a stolen vehicle and who lawyers and some witnesses say had his hands up. The 13-year-old's attorneys say the teen was trying to surrender. The officer's attorney says in a split-second decision, he thought the teen's cell phone was a gun.
Jesus Christ, dude. You all right? Yeah. Damn it.
That was the reaction of the officer next to the shooting officer after shots were fired.
Is anyone hit? Who's hit? Get an ambulance.
Shortly after, two officers grabbed the 13-year-old who had just been shot by his sweatshirt and legs and carried him away from the gas pump where he was laying. The 13-year-old was a passenger in a suspected stolen car when officers tried to stop it. Police say he jumped out and started running. Then, right as he turns and appears to raise his hands, he's shot at least once.
He was a kid. He's a kid, a passenger, and he runs. Turns around, he puts his hands up, and he's shot. I want to do this. Producers, go to the still of when he has his hands up. I want to make sure this is very clear for everyone who watches this segment. He has his hands up. He has his hands up. But the video from the body cam of the officer who shot the child, Noah Ball, whose identity was first reported by the Daily Beast, doesn't begin until after the incident took place. An attorney for Ball has denied the teen's hands were raised and suggested he mistook a cell phone for a gun. Now, they want you to believe that what you see is a lie. They want you to not see what you saw. His hands were up. One of the new clips obtained by the Daily Beast on Thursday is not from the body cam, but apparently that of a fixed camera nearby, and likewise shows the teen raising his hands. Ball's body camera, the cop, did not activate until roughly 40 seconds after the shooting was over. Shortly after his camera came on, Officer Ball is heard asking another officer, "Is your camera on?" And when that officer replies yes, he says, "Oh, okay, good." His camera is off. His camera magically turns back on after the shooting is done. His attorneys are coming out saying hands were not up. Now we have the video, hands were up. There's more. Ball's attorney, Timothy Grace, told CNN his client's body camera was inadvertently off. That's what he said, that's the attorney. It was just a mistake here. Nothing to it. Grace told the Daily Beast Thursday his client thought he had activated the camera. Grace previously contended that Officer Ball believed himself to be in danger when he mistook the cell phone for a weapon. In the new body camera footage, a cell phone can be seen lying on the ground next to a pool of blood left by the injured 13-year-old after officers dragged him away. But video from the moments before the shooting does not show where the cell phone was as the child ran, though at least one officer can be heard shouting about a gun. No gun existed. No gun was there. Now, out of all of the stories that we've covered on Indisputable, you know how many cops have confessed that they knew who to call to plant a gun on somebody? And what they would do is yell gun, or they would say the word gun so that others could pick it up in their camera, or a witness could say, yes, we heard the cop say gun. They're crafty, is my point. So just because a cop said gun does not necessarily mean that they actually believe the gun was there anyway. There's more. Let's put up a picture of the superintendent here, David Brown. So David Brown buck stops with him. We do not have a confirmed photo of Officer Ball. They're playing hide the pickle, so we have a game for them. Until we know who this cop is, Mr. Superintendent, you will be the face of this tragedy. It was last month when the Daily Beast revealed the officer to be Noah Ball. He has not been charged with any crime in this incident. Let's go to Andrew Stroff, the attorney for the child's family. We're calling the child by a nickname, it's AG. Told the Daily Beast that the team remains unable to move from the waist down. Remember when this happened, the team was immediately paralyzed, all right? Paralyzed. Here's a still of the young AG in the hospital from the footage with his hands raised up again and him in the hospital bed. Strauss said, and I quote, "The doctors now believe he is simply paralyzed." Wow. I said this when we first covered the story, because when the cops did not release their body camera footage and there was that many cops present, I said this kid had his hands up. Because if the kid did not, if there was a threat to the officer, Chicago PD would have released or leaked that footage immediately. They did not. Now we have the rest of the story. A teenage passenger had his hands up and was still shot and could be dead. His life has now been severely adversely impacted because of gun crazy police. 13-year-old child. Dan, thoughts on this?
The defense for the police officers is just wavering and wavering. Their defense for carrying his body the way they did away from the gas station was that, well, we had just shot him right by a gas station. We're worried that the bullets had hit the gas station. So then you go, okay, then why did you shoot a suspect who was running away, who was not armed, next to a gas station? They keep digging this hole for themselves. The fact they didn't have the body cameras on when they did this, just the impact of what you just said, that there are officers who know how to be crafty and hide the ball when things are happening. There are other bystanders who saw and said the kid was not armed, there was no gun. As far as we can tell, there was no gun recovered from the scene. So it appears that these officers messed up, and it goes into why police officers, one of many reasons, why police officers have lost the trust and faith of the communities they're supposed to protect and serve.
Yeah, and you gotta stop talking, as I say all the time, you gotta stop talking reform only and start talking replacement. These cultures, especially in police departments like Chicago PD, they are rotten to the core. You cannot save them through a policy reform, through a new leader, a new captain, a new chief. It won't happen. You gotta get rid of them. You gotta let them go. You gotta put them in jail. You got to start over. Recruitment needs to begin. And these are the cops, they have to simply go.